I can just stare at it. I can stare at it for hours on end. It lures me into a sweet, seductive embrace. And then I fall asleep. Okay. So that's interesting. We'll talk about that. So that was the, that's Fuwo paint, Ferocious paint that's going to be used in Fuwo world. What does that mean? Well, I will try to tell you. You know, NFT projects are very interesting, and mostly you lose so much money. But anyway, let me get over to something real quick. Let me show you this for 1 second. And let me do one thing. Here, my little camera needs to autofocus. That should be better, except that my face is so big. I'm looking at you, bro. I'm all up on you, bro. All right, let's see who is here. I noticed Jungle was here. I noticed Scorpion. Let's go backwards. Let's go. Jungle in the house. Scorp, what up? Todd B, Breakfast Leadership. Crypto with Florida Dan. Tim, Belinda, Ella Paul. Tubed out pipeline. Every time I say it, it makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable. Other Tim, no less important than first Tim. Frank, Plu, Krabby, Bitcoin Candy, Fiesta. What's going on? Okay, let's go over here. Say hello. We have Leon Powell. We have Askus. We have Blumroch, Hootie, Club 80D, Scorpion, Unsung. The rest, I think, are from the other day. Okay, cool. Jimmy, Joe Fernandez, Crypto Amigos. Cool. And so, yeah, what you're seeing flashing, that's the, and I'll explain it later. It's very interesting what they're creating over with Fuwo World. And yeah, but we'll get into the other stuff first. CC Brown, what's going on? Okay, so the markets are S-ing the bed as we speak, but they've been S-ing the bed since yesterday, which is fine. They've been going up for 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks straight. These things have to give up the ghost, man. They can't go straight up. And anytime, there's certain projects where when you see them starting to go up, you realize, you know, the market's kind of topped out. When everyone's talking about Luna, which is, you know, a well-intentioned Ponzi scheme, and everything else is starting to sell off and Luna's like barely holding on, when even the Ponzi's are holding on, no, market's about to sell off. Whenever you see big Twitter pushes, sell the token. There's certain things you want to sell against. Anyway, we'll get into that. We'll get into a little bit of the game theory. We're going to talk Adidas. So Adidas has something going on. We're going to talk about the metaverse kind of struggling. Luna to the moon. Jungle, you should hope it doesn't go to the moon. You should hope it flattens out. If Luna goes to the moon, when it unwinds, the whole thing's going to unwind. That's the danger. The idea of these algorithmic stable coins, look, there are pillars to mathematics, and if you cheat those, you fail. It's a matter of time. And these types of systems like Social Security, they're no different than Social Security. And you just go look at the Japanese economy. How well is that performing now that there's less people inputting than outputting, right? Because all the silver here. So basically, it's a funnel. And if you have plenty of people inputting currency for Social Security, welfare and all that, then the people that are taking, it's equal, or hopefully you have more. This is what you want. This is what they have. A very few people inputting because they don't have lots of babies, and a lot of people taking, and that will collapse it. What do you think happens to Luna when people start becoming net sellers? It's like the passive indexation effect. It's math. It will crash. It's not a what if. It's not. Do Kwon can say what he wants. You can't argue math. You have definitions, you have theorems, and you have proofs. That's mathematics. What you don't have in most of these projects is clear definitions, weak theorems on weaker assumptions, and no proofs. And every time someone starts to question the math, Do Kwon says, I'll buy more Bitcoin. Bro, that's not a strat. That doesn't fix math. But if your math is broken, you can buy Bitcoin as much as you want. It's still broken. Broken is broken, man. That's right. Unsung. God bows to math. Math is the key to the universe. So it's great to be excited and hopeful and all this, but excited and hopeful and motivated, and it is not math. It will always get B slapped. It'll always get Will Smith slapped by math, right? So too soon? Okay. So we're going to talk about some fun stuff. And also, I don't know everything. Listen, Ponzi's can run a long time. Everyone, most people suspected that Bernie Madoff was running a big fat Ponzi scheme. I mean, completely suspected that. Matter of fact, the Boston the Boston SEC sent word to the New York SEC that Bernie Madoff was running a scam, a Ponzi, years before they would prosecute. And New York was like, man, we don't have time for that. Bernie's cool. Like, what do you mean? He's not, he has billions of dollars that he's lit on fire. He's stealing, bro. So yeah, and that's true. Anytime you see tons of people on Twitter Spaces, it's time to take some off the table. I took a little bit, but I have a different kind of scalping. But yeah. So anyway, a lot of cool stuff. We'll talk about it. So let me do our commercial, non-commercial. And by the way, one of these days, Jerry, by the way, is going to be coming on a more regular basis, and I'm going to get Jungle on. We just trying to get our schedules together. So we're going to have some cool stuff that we're going to do. And I believe next Monday, if we get our timing right, I'm going to have the team from Flare, because I'm not a hater. If you can prove to me your stuff is cool, I'll let you talk. I'm open. I would love to be wrong about Flare. So far, I've been right, but I would love to be wrong, or I would love to be convinced otherwise. I'm open to be convinced otherwise. Same thing. If I had a talk with Brad Garlinghouse, it probably wouldn't work out well for Brad. But if I had a talk with David Schwartz, it would be a completely different talk, right? So you can get different perspectives on the same thing. I'm open. I want to be wrong, but correct financially. I'm okay with that. Ain't got no ego. Lamborghini don't know your ego. Okay, we'll be right back. We'll get it started, and we'll have hopefully some fun. Okay, and if the volume is a little weird, let me know. I'm trying a slightly different kind of setup today where I'm not pegged to the ear. I don't really like wearing those ear things all the time. So I'm having it run through a slightly different system where the audio should be a little bit more natural. We will see. Okay, let me say, if I hadn't said hello to Adam, let me say hello to Adam. Let me say hello to Tiffany, Michael. I do appreciate you guys hanging out. Crypto Fanatico, Crypto Amigos, Dubai Money. Suze, what's up? Ooh, big news for Paradise Trippies today. Wah, wah, wah. Oh, God. Plu, I guess I'll ask you, and you can comment or not. You know what? Everybody comment. Anybody excited about the Snoop Dogg, who I love his music, man, but that whole Twitter Spaces thing yesterday was weak. It was weak. And in my opinion, it was incredibly embarrassing. And then I even saw like Charles, like using a little bit more profanity, trying to sound like street, trying to be cool. The whole thing was just really, really weak in my opinion. And not, I don't think, accretive to to either one. I don't think it makes Snoop look any better, and I don't think it makes Cardano look any better. And if they think they're going to sell tons of NFTs on that weak-ass platform that is cnft.io, please, bro. Cardano is amazing for a lot of things, but NFTs is not one of them. And also swap platforms is not. Jesus, there's like 8 or 9 or 12 swap platforms, and none of them have any liquidity, and all of them are slow and clunky. Like, God. So right now, and you guys know I'm a Cardano lover, but DeFi, NFTs, there are no, and this is not just Cardano. There are not very many useful apps in crypto, if we're all being honest. Can you think of any useful app? I'll tell you the only useful app, and it's not even it's a crypto app, but it doesn't sit on a decentralized ledger. It's a centralized software product. It's Nexo. Dude, Nexo is dope. Here's what I use the most. I probably use Nexo, Coinbase, Kraken, Nifty Gateway. I can't think of any other. And those are just ways to access crypto crap. Like, if we're all being honest, we got to be fair. Criticism where it's due. There's no killer app in crypto. Not a killer. There's not even any decent apps in crypto. How does crypto make any other than price appreciation and great? You got a balance sheet, buy some Lambos, which I ain't complaining. I have all those things. But other than just the financial side, has life gotten better for anyone because crypto? You could say, well, because of the mining rigs, some people in impoverished nations that have socialized electricity, they can plug in miners and they can make some money. And that's pretty awesome. They can put food on the table. I'm 100% with it. That's not a killer. I mean, I guess Bitcoin is a preservation of capital, as a preservation of value is a kind of a killer app, right? So you could say Bitcoin has helped people. Ethereum, well, you burn Ethereum to do to buy NFTs for the most part, and then beneath that Axie, and then beneath that Solana, and down. But those aren't killer apps. Those are just transmission mechanisms of value. So that's not really, I don't know, man. I just think it's weak right now, which is good because it means we're all super ridiculously early. Sylvia, Tony, Expat Matt, what's going on? Justin, España, JR, what up, JR? Old school, one of the OGs. Wasn't blown away by that space yesterday. A lot of awkward moment. Yeah, God, ugh. Educational content could be great. And I don't blame Snoop for not knowing much about Cardano in the same way I don't blame Charles for not knowing much about rap music or even just like hip hop or just music, like whatever. Focus on the protocol. Focus on like fixing Africa and selling governance as a service, and we'll be fine. So yeah, Scott, what's up, buddy? Let's see. Man, Snoop seems like a weird attention. Yeah, it just seemed like weak marketing, man. I listened for about 8 minutes and I just couldn't take it anymore. I was like physically embarrassed. I don't know what embarrassment looks like, but I was like, you know what it was? I was kind of like sound shaming. I was like sound shamed. I was like turning my phone down so that no one could hear that this was important to me. I was like, and then I was like, that's just so weak, man. It just seemed like a really weak, like what possible benefit? First of all, the Cardano NFT, the whole system, it's gross. It's you have to do transactions from your wallet. Like you send some, it sends some back. Then the other person, there's not like a live marketplace. So I bought some Cardano NFTs just to like support the cause. It was the clunkiest, dumb, slow process. It took days. So one of them, the dude never saw the offer. It took like 4 days because I had to because it like cancel the order, put it back in, cancel. Oh, the person's not responding. Well, then why do you list stuff for sale if you're not responding? How is there? Look, man, you can see how LooksRare is doing some awesome stuff, by the way. They just don't have a lot of volume. And it's mostly still wash trading probably, but they're doing cool stuff. OpenSea sucks, and it's a crappy company, but that's where you go. That's where liquidity is, the NFT space. Nifty Gateway, they were late to the PFP thing, but they're at least iteratively upgrading. They're making changes. For that, I give the Gemini twins total kudos, because their exchange, Gemini, sucks, but Nifty Gateway is dope. So you know what? Fair play. You suck at exchanges, but let's face it. Gemini Exchange is just a place for the twins to offload their own crap and collect fees. They didn't build Nifty Gateway to service you or me. They built it to service their own stash, right? It's just them being able to gamble their portfolio. That's fine. Whatever. You got it. 1-0. They were early, bro. They saw it. Or they gambled right. But Nifty Gateway is dope. It's really cool. It's really clean. Yes, they have some problems. They got DDoSed a few days ago, and it is what it is. Everybody gets attacked every now and then, but yeah. And so Snoop involved just for NFTs, or he's man, we'll say this. Snoop is he's not stupid at business. Don't confuse the fact that he's street for the assumption that he's slow. He's not. He's very clever. He makes good plays. I think part of that is that's kind of his game. Like, he kind of looks like he's simple and acts kind of simple and talks street. The dude's a pretty shrewd businessman. So I'm sure that and Charles is not an idiot either. Yes, yesterday was stupid. It sounded dumb. It sounded very weak, and it sounded like a very cheap marketing ploy. But my guess is there's much more on the other side of the side of the hill that we can't see right now. So we'll see. Craig, what's going on? Cosmo Michael, what's going on? Biotech, what's up? Okay. That's right. We can travel the world with our passphrase. Okay. Debbie, good to see you. Masad, good to see you. I think it's probably a bit of a cash grab. It is, but you know what? He's a businessman. Good for him. It's just the whole thing was weak, and I didn't feel. I mean, I'll sum it up. It was weak for Cardano, and it was par for the course for everyone else involved. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. Gemini lowered their fees. Yeah, Gemini's weak though. The exchange is just weak. It's a weak exchange with very low liquidity and very few offerings. You know what they are? They're one of these. It's kind of like Grayscale. They politic from the portfolio. They politic from their offerings. It's what Coinbase was until they realized we're getting crushed by Binance. Why? Because CZ, even though he's a creep, in some cases, he's getting a little bit better now. He's wised up. DeFi is not like his only thing now. CZ is smart. He gives people what they want. Too much. Maybe he gives gamblers easy access to gambling. He gives drug addicts too many drugs too easily. So he's gone the other way. But that's why Binance is the most, far-reaching, most successful exchange on the planet. He's doing what these other guys are not doing. They were both earlier than him. CZ was late to the game. 2017, he started Binance, and yet he stomped everyone by many, many multiples. So there we go. Crypto for life. What's up? Okay, so let's do this. Let's take a look at markets. Let me get this banner out of here. You guys know what's up. Let's take a look at markets. If you have any very specific questions, Sirmienko, anybody know when the next Looks halving is? Yes, the next Look halving, it's based on Ethereum blocks. It looks like we will be May 10th or 11th. So I would not urge anybody to be buying Looks right now. Forget this. It doesn't matter about the staking. It doesn't matter about anything. Do not buy Looks right now. Wait till they reprice it. This thing's liable to be 75 cents. And then if you want to lay into it, then you also know that the rewards are going to pay out consistent over the next 6 months. So from about May 10th or May 11th, they fix those rewards. Now, they're going to get chopped in about a third, not a half. It's like almost a third. So if you see the compounded rewards, well, we can check, can't we? We can check right now. Hold on. Okay, so the compounded rewards are, come on, bro. The compounded rewards are 253. Okay, so expect that to come down, well below 200. In the low 100s, expect this to be 50% or below. So expect the Look staking to be about 50 to 60%. Okay, the current Looks APR, chop that down to about 30%. Chop the wrapped Ethereum rewards to about 35%. If you go to the compounder, what would that look like? Probably chop the same thing, Looks rewards to about 20 to 30%. And I would say the wrapped Ethereum rewards 30, 40%. They're going to take a big hit. But that's still pretty good, isn't it? So you could still have around 100% with this Looks compounder. And if you're buying the token really, really cheap, I mean, do not buy this thing over $1. Just don't. You're going to get flummoxed. You're going to get slapped right in the face. Don't do it. People panic into this thing. You don't think people are going to sell? They already know. Look, this thing repriced ugly leading into, and we talked about this for weeks, leading into February 10th when they did the first repricing. Remember when the interest were like so stupid, like over 1,000, 700, 800, and then it repriced. And what happened? The token went from $4 to 80 cents. 80 cents. So it doesn't matter what the reward is if the token loses 79% of its value in a week. Wait. Wait and let it rebuild. And maybe this token reprices between $1 and $2, but at least after the May 10th, May 11th transition to the new staking rewards, you'll have some kind of peace of mind that you understand the rewards are relatively constant for at least 6 months. Okay. And then we can play that game again. It's a beauty show. People will front run this trade, and they'll probably front run it a week to 10 days out, if not already. So let's go back to the Looks token since we're talking about it, since it's fresh in our mind. Go all the way down. It's $1.71. Okay. My guess is this thing is, after it reprices, anywhere from 65, 75 cents. That's probably when you lean into it. The danger, if this thing gets below 50, gets below 40 cents, it becomes a very risky proposition. Once tokens drop back below $1 for a sustained amount of time, there's a certain psychology that kicks in, and they have a very hard time catching up. It's very difficult. And so this thing could appear more as a gambler's token, which it is, if we're being honest, and less like, kind of a wrapped Ethereum mining proposition. So be very careful. I would not buy this thing above $1, period, full stop. Okay. And real quick in markets, let's just go down. So Bitcoin S the bed, pretty hard. Although, it's relative, right? Like it's down on the week 5.8, it's down on the week, on the day 3.5 of that. So most of that came yesterday. So what? So back out Bitcoin's performance to get an idea. Who's taking the bigger beating? Well, the less liquid assets, kind of. So Ethereum's down about 6%. Cardano's down about 7%. Well, part of that is, the yesterday's nonsense, because that was not price accretive. Matter of fact, the price of Cardano was 21 cents flirting going into that. And then depth charge, it just started going down. And that's when the market was still up and Bitcoin was fine. It just started going down. People were not on the aggregate happy with that. There's a couple of rubes that'll be out there like, oh my God, Snoop and Ada. No, man, no. It was weak. It was weak, and they deserve to get punished. When you pull parlor tricks, you should get treated apropos. Okay. DOT, it's getting crushed a little bit. There's probably some people with some near-term gains. I don't really care about the dailies. I do tend to focus on the 30-day, the 90, and the 1 year. Polkadot still looks like it's in that realm where it's really viable. Both of these do. So yeah, I still think you add to these. Now, if you're staking, you're adding through staking. You might also take rewards from other places. So for instance, you might be staking Matic, which is up ridiculous. And you might say, where's Matic as it becomes a protocol? Does it jump in? Does it double? I think it does double. So I probably wouldn't scalp Matic rewards. I don't think I would scalp. I definitely would not scalp near rewards. It's still doing pretty good. Even being kicked in the small ones, it's up 13.5% on the week, 57 on the month, 3 on the 90 days. So look, it's still a break even on the 90. I would still be adding near at this point. By the way, hello, Gordon Bennett. Zekomegatina. Oh man, I know I butchered that name. Yeah. Okay. So where are we at? So SHIB, it's a dummy coin and it's down 7%, as it should be because it's a dummy coin. But you need to track dummy coins to know where the dummies are at, and this should tell you where you're at in the cycles. Okay, so great. Near looks to me investable. I like it. Cosmos, investable. I still think it hasn't moved relative to where I believe its value is. This thing's probably it's probably 3 times better than in my opinion, is 3 times better than this price. When would I start scalping Cosmos rewards? I'd probably start scalping Cosmos rewards over $50. So when Cosmos banged past 50, I'd probably take those rewards, and then I would be taking, and then I do this with all my staking rewards. Any protocol that I'm staking and I'm getting constant rewards, consistent, I tend to allocate those rewards back to projects which I think are a little bit undervalued. So I would be pushing rewards in Cosmos after, say, 50, 60 bucks. Axie Infinity, I'm surprised this thing didn't sell off harder based on the hack that happened to Ronin, which is their underlying kind of, think of it like a funding layer, and that was pretty much massive, $620 and change $1 million. Poof, goodbye. That's not Axie's fault, but look, man, what are the pillars? What are the pillars of math, right? And if you reduce it to the pillars of math, you might have clear definitions. You might have sound theorems. Okay, so you got the definitions, you got the theorems. If your implementation is flawed, then it doesn't matter about the math. It's going to suffer a chaos event. And sometimes you can have the right definitions and you can have the right theorems and you can have the right proofs. Everything looks great on paper. You're going into it with the game theoretical perspective, good data science, good software ideas. They get implemented a little bit weak on some junior code, and you have shutdowns like Stellana and like so many of these things that just blow up. And so sometimes there is a gap between the pillars of math and the actual software implementation. Then another thing, as these platforms absorb more capital, more currency units, more value units, however you want to describe it, they become a bigger attack surface. So as the total value lock, the TVL, increases in certain platforms, you go, oh man, they were doing so good. And then, yeah, well, the and then they got big enough to where it was a big honeypot for hackers and exploiters and things like this. So just keep that in mind, in the back of your mind, that just because your protocol hasn't been nuked yet, it might not be juicy enough to nuke. So there you go. All right. Algorand looks interesting, but man, did it give up the ghost. Down 15 on the week. It's getting flummoxed. Is this still a good project? I know a lot of people a lot of people don't like how kind of arrogant the team, maybe we should call it arrogant-orand, Algorand. They're incredibly arrogant, that team. Their marketing team does not any marketing. And I can say this because I know one of the guys on their marketing team. Barry, if you're out there, I know you're not listening because you guys are too arrogant to listen to internet and YouTube and people's opinions, because you guys already know everything. What you don't understand is that you need to market to, Ego Rand. God, Florida nailed it. You have to market to the people that give you runway, bro. You wouldn't have a fucking paycheck if it wasn't for us. He deserves that. Okay, so anyway, keep that in mind. Make sure that when you're looking at the team, you can have all the good tech and you can have the pillars of math and you can have a great implementation. And if you scoff, if you raise your nose, at the rest of us, we are the ones that give you runway for your company, bro. Oh, you're too good. You're too good for the common man. Okay. Well, your runway will deteriorate to dust because you're not communicating with us. And people will go and buy stupid projects, and they'll fall into whimsy and nonsense because you just feel like it's not necessary to have to explain yourself to the public. And this is a problem I think that's going to plague Polkadot pretty soon. You communicate or die. Why do you think Cardano, look, it was up at 320. That was great, but it's still up in the last 2 years, like 30x, 30, almost 40x. Well, yesterday was 40, 30, 35x, 33x. Why? Because Charles communicates with people. If you do, how else do we spread the word about anything? If you do not communicate with people your ideas, then they're not really ideas. They're just locked up in your brain. All you not amused. God, Joaquin Phoenix is so dope. All right, so let's keep it going. Distributed file storage, it's important. I don't know when to buy this thing. I keep feeling like it needs to be $10. $10, I would start leaning into Filecoin again. Maybe 12, 10 to 12. I don't know. Full disclosure, I got out of that bad boy at 190, 195. It got as high as like 215. I got in at 5. I was part of the ICO. Happy. Not a hater. And distributed file storage makes a lot of sense. The same thing with ARweave. I like ARweave. I've been slowly re-entering AR, small positions, because I want distributed. I still have Filecoin. So I want that space. That's a space. Anyway, keep it in mind. I'm going to try to say less. I'm going to try to just not say anything. It's a process, because you don't want some that makes your brain crazy. All right, Patsy, hello. Brady, what's going on, man? Okay, damn it. I'm just going to use silence. I will look at some things here. Scale not been performing real well. Actually, it's getting gutted, but it's brand new. It's got a tiny market cap. It does deserve a closer look. Does it belong in the bucket of layer 2s? Maybe. I have a very small investment in this, but I don't want to miss something. So you may want to look at it. Again, I'm not telling anyone what to do. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. You do you. Okay, Render, interesting. It's tiny market cap, a lot of big names, but not a lot of big names in crypto. A lot of big markety kind of spammy names. They have JJ Abrams, and they have Beeple, and they have Chemeth, Polypacha, Disruptor, SPAC King, at least before he gets indicted on something. But what they don't have, I think, are some good deep dev hands on board. So I just don't know what Render does, but it's gotten beat up quite a bit last few days. Fetch was doing good, got crushed. Everything's getting crushed, but it's only down 4%, 4.8. Let's call it 5. If you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin's down 3.6 of that. So Fetch is actually faring pretty well, given the chaos surrounding. I will be adding to AGIX bits and pieces. I did a little scalping. So when AGIX was around 8 cents, 8.5, I bought a chunk of AGIX to trade up and see. I used to do this with Lumens. When these tokens are low like this, if it's a quality asset, you can only do it with a quality asset, which I believe AGIX is an incredibly quality asset. But what I was doing is with Lumens in 2017, late 2016, early 2017, it would go from like way less than a penny. My first purchases, I actually looked the other day because we're doing some legal stuff for Money Map. And my first purchases in XLM were 0.002543. So basically a quarter of 1 penny. And I had a lot, but I took a chunk and I was trading them back and forth. So every time it would get to like 2 to 3 or 4 cents, I would sell half the chunk. If it would come down 1 or 2 cents, I would buy it back. Now, those are the crazy days of 2017. But with a lot of these relatively low liquidity, low desire assets, if you like them, you may be able to trade up your pile. So I've been kind of trading AGIX that way. Not my main stash. My main stash is staked. I ain't touching it. But I do have a separate stash that I've been trading up. I sold it like 17 and change since the stuff that I bought at 8.6, 8.7. It's hard to tell exactly because a lot of times I'm just swapping on MetaMask. The numbers are a little bit sloppy. But then if we get down to mid 14, high 13s, I will take those currency units, which are in stablecoin right now, and I will put them right back to work in AGX and hopefully expand that chunk by 10, 12, 15%. So we're already at 15 from 17. So we're already over 10%. So 10% is cool, but 25% would be way better. 50% would be even better. So if this thing gets down 13, 12 cents, I'm going to lean back into it. Yeah. New net, if it gets under 3, I'm buying it every time it touches under 3 cents, period, full stop. And LooksRare, we've already talked about. Okay, let's go. Let's look at some of these articles because there are some interesting articles. If you have a question, I may not have the answer, but I can definitely fake it. Right? Either put a big Q and a dash or the word question. And just so you guys know, it is easier to see questions and stuff on through YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, etc., because that comes up in the box that's on StreamYard. They haven't, for whatever reason, aggregated the Theta chat to StreamYard, which is, in my opinion, kind of dickish of StreamYard. But they have the little music underneath. Here, we have this little theme music we can play. What should we play today? Should we do acoustic cinematic, dance pop, info space, lo-fi? What do you guys think? Feeding the ducks. What's that supposed to be? Should we listen? Oh, look at us feeding ducks. Who'd have thought that'd have been so fun? Okay, let me back that down to something just underneath. Okay, let's do some article looking. Okay, Adidas collaborates with Ready Player Me. Full disclosure, I've heard of one of those two projects. I do not know what Ready Player Me is, but we're going to find out. So, Adidas collaborates with Ready Player Me to launch one of a kind. Everybody has one of a kind. Everything's one of a kind in the NFT space, bro. It's all one of a kind. That's the whole thing. Everything. Okay, you get it. Adidas is pulling out all the, wow, there's a lot of big verbiage. There's a lot of big statements. When I see big statements, I tend to recoil a bit. It's the biggest, we're the Google of, we're gonna change. It's, what do they say? Market changing, trend change, it's world changing technology. Come on, dial it down. Adidas is pulling out all the stops to celebrate the arrival of its latest Ozworld collection. Okay. With the brand launching the first personality-based AI-generated avatar creation platform, say that without vomiting. The platform is being launched in collaboration with the cross-game avatar platform, Ready Player Me. The online Ozworld experience will enable users to create their unique digital avatars. Oh, so what, man? This sounds weak. Who cares? Every metaverse is going to let you create a character. That's how every video game lets you have a character. Man, this isn't groundbreaking. This isn't pulling out all the stops. Adidas. I love the shoes, man, but kind of weak. All right. Thanks to the exclusive collaboration with Ready Player Me, these avatars can be taken around the web. Okay, cool. Like go to Twitter. Those are around here. Go right here. Look at everybody's little avatar. Why is that exciting? I don't know. The collaboration with Ready Player Me marks Adidas' continued expansion into the metaverse and the NFT space. You guys realize that metaverse is just a word for social interaction plus video games plus money, right? We've had anybody that's played Call of Duty has been in the metaverse for years. You just add money to it. Now you have a metaverse. There's nothing magic about this. It's just a cool term. Anyway, Ready Player Me's cross-application avatar platform that has been specifically created for whatever the metaverse is. The platform will allow anyone to explore the virtual world once they've created their unique digital avatars. I'm sure that'll be free as well. The Osworld collection was originally launched in the 90s, featuring a dynamic adapprene cushioned outsole and upper. The partnership with Ready Player Me will enable fans of the fans. Are there any shoe fans here? Anyone? Shoe fans of Osworld shoes? Will enable fans of the collection to create avatars that can utilize the Osworld brand. Adidas released a statement addressing the partnership, stating each unique avatar will be able to traverse the web through a bespoke partnership with Ready Player Me. This is the first brand partnership that pushes the platform's limits. Really? Offering interoperability in generative avatars with over 1,500 different metaverse apps and games. Man, ain't no one using none of those. That's the subject of the second article I will read to you, is that this metaverse thing so far is incredibly weak. At first, it enticed a bunch of rubes to buy in. Why? Because VCs pumped this stuff on you guys. You get it, right? VCs take anything, they pump it. They put just enough money in to package it, and they sell it to you, and they get to probably walk with a 40, 70, 100x before there's any use, utility, or adoption, because that's what VCs do. They're snake oil salesmen. You get this, right? If you're buying something at the IPO or the ICO, you're not getting a discount. You're just competing with other dummies. The VCs are already on their way out, having cashed out. They got you 1-0. So, history, man. Okay, the first installment of these avatars will launch on the 28th of April. I know, I'm excited as a huge supporter of shoes. Deploy avatars on social media. Users will be prompted to answer a series of questions. And be required to choose their favorite Osworld footwear silhouette. So this is shoes. You'll be able to have shoes. You'll be able to advertise Adidas shoes. You're going to get, You're going to get to pay for the honor of advertising Adidas shoes. Man, I can't wait to pay for the right to advertise Adidas shoes. Oh, it's going to be so awesome. Hope I can show the soles. That'll be my new avatar. I don't even need a face. I just want to show some shoe soles, please. The questions will help the platform learn more about the users. And once the information has been shared, it'll be translated by the platform into a unique digital avatar, taking inspiration from the collection's dynamic visual codes. Once users have generated the characters, they can animate their avatars, try on sneakers digitally from the collection, and purchase them. Oh God, it sounds so stupid. The more I read it, the dumber it sounds. Users will also be able to download their Osworld avatars and deploy them on social media accounts as stickers or GIFs. Oh, cool. So I can not only answer a bunch of questions, give you guys a bunch of data, pay for the right to get a one-of-a-kind-ish avatar that advertises your shoes, Adidas. Then I can go and deploy those anywhere on the interwebs I want. I can go advertise for free for you for free after I paid. Man, you guys are letting us do everything. How are you ever gonna make money on something it's like you're giving us everything, Adidas. You guys, that's their crime. Their crime is they're too good. Adidas is too good to us. And Ready Player, never heard of them, is going to be behind it. So this is going to be something. This is going to be something. Adidas believes this partnership pushes that platform's of course it pushes the boundaries. No one uses that platform. Offering interoperability with more than 1,500 metaverse apps and games. Can anyone name any metaverse game? Any? This is the problem with going from NFTs and creating a metaverse project around it. It's not all that interesting. When you launch a video game, you launch into a market that you think is tens or hundreds of millions of people. Do you think that any game on Sandbox is going to get tens or hundreds of millions of people, at least right now? Sandbox, bro, it's weak. It is weak. Go bang around on it. You will be embarrassed that you're doing it. You'll feel like a kid clunking around in Minecraft with no clue on how to build anything. Only you'll be paying for the right to do it. Let's see. Adidas has been experimenting with NFTs in the metaverse. Back in November 2021, the company revealed it had partnered with Coinbase and the Sandbox. Woo! Then in December, the company announced it was collaborating with Bored Ape Yacht Club. Remember that weak ass thing where they sold the Adidas NFT based on the Bored Ape that they bought, and you got like a fluorescent green marker colored jumpsuit, which basically made you the target of everyone. Like, hey, just signal that you've got money on your phone by wearing that stupid ass jumpsuit and just get stomped. It's so bad. And I love Adidas. I have on Adidas right now. Oh, they're my workout shoes. I love them. But this is stupid. So we'll just have to wait and see. I hope I'm wrong about this. I hope this is what starts the whole metaverse trend. It'll all trace back to Adidas and Ready Player Me. But if I was a gambling man, I think I'd stay on the sidelines for this one. Okay. Yeah, I think we're all dumber for having heard this, Todd. Well said. It does sound like an infomercial. It sounds, you know what? It sounds only marginally stupider. If that's is stupider a word, more stupid, less intelligent, more cognitively flawed, let's just dig, than yesterday's Cardano quagmire, the dog quagmire. Okay, Metaverse. So since we're talking about Metaverse, you're like, yeah, but man, Metaverse is going to be, bro, Metaverse is banging. I'm making tons of bank. No, you're not, because math. Bam. Come on, load, sucker. All right. Let me get rid of this little thing. Okay, Metaverse major struggle as user base, so here's a surprise, falls short of market expectations. Decentraland, Axie Infinity, and the Sandbox have larger valuations and fewer active users than non-blockchain games. Well, no crap. No crap. Let's talk about it. Oh, there's a cool little picture of something that doesn't make sense. Here's a little picture of these little guys. Look at these little guys while we talk. The Metaverse, despite all the interest from venture capital and the world's, of course, listen, whenever VCs are involved, just understand that these are, for those of you that are into data science and you're into like game theory and stuff, these are Byzantine players, okay? Byzantine means corrupted nodes. You have Byzantine nodes in your system, they're corrupt, right? This is Byzantine, fault tolerant. That's what all that is about. VCs are Byzantine. They're not here for the space. They're just here to swindle. It's okay. It's their business model. These guys are creeps. Oh, there's even some ladies. Let me not be sexist. And some pronouns undisclosed. VCs are Byzantine as a mofo. They will step on your grandmother's neck to light you on fire and take your wallet while you run around burning. They don't care about you. They don't give a crap about the crypto space. They're just here to skin it as much as they can, fillet everyone, and then they're just going to go F off. And that's their business model. So when you hear, oh, a VC, this VC, that means nothing. Now, you can follow the VCs and try to make some early money, maybe, sometimes, and you can play the trends, but you cannot, these guys are not here to make the space better. Just understand, these a-holes are Byzantine. Okay, so with that being said, the Metaverse, despite all the interest from venture capital and the world's major brands, is struggling to attract users. I don't understand why. And token prices have begun to reflect this. Tokens for the three major metaverse protocols, Decentraland's Mana, Axie Infinity's AXS, and Sandbox Sand are all down year to date and significantly underperforming Bitcoin. Think I'm kidding? Well, let me give you a little chart. Why does it do that? It makes it so weird. Can I? Anyway, This is the chart, even though CoinDesk is being a dickish about, because they have to have their stupid little ad there. Oh, wait. Can I do that? No, it won't even let me bring the chart out. Well, so there you go. Anyway, Sandbox is the blue one. Axie is the orange one. But the kind of gold one that's outperforming everyone is the Bitcoin. Yay. Okay. And Bitcoin has not been doing great this year. So what should that tell you? With all three having seen significant interest from from Byzantine capitalists who have allocated hundreds of millions to Metaverse and GameFi. Oh, why do you think that is? Think that they're doing it because they want to build the space? Come on, man. Some market observers say the number of daily active users doesn't reflect the level of investment. Yeah. Because people aren't stupid forever, bro. There's currently no I like this guy, but he's saying it. There is currently no organic engagement that retains players in the game. Unlike traditional games like Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto, Candy Crush, where players are willing to pay to keep playing. Web3 analyst DeFi Vader wrote in an August note about Axie Infinity. If one or a few of these games create organic engagement, then DAU growth will stop being mostly dependent on daily earnings. In the past 30 days, the number of Axie Infinity's average daily users, so daily user growth, has dropped 30% from previous periods to about 107,240. Sandbox has fallen by 29% to 1,100. That's nothing, dude. 1,100 is the amount of players. Think about that. There's more people on obscure foot fetish websites, like on OnlyFans, that just look at obscure foot fetishes. Way more people. Sandbox is weak, dude. And Decentraland, surprise, surprise, has lost 15%. It's lower than 1,000 users a day. What a dumpster fire. 978 users a day on average on Decentraland. Wah, wah, wah. Let me give you another chart. I don't want you to think I'm making numbers up. Nick's making up numbers. No. Nick not making up numbers. Nick reading numbers. When compared to mainstream games on Steam, a digital gaming store, actually Steam is dope. If you play any VR games like I do, Steam is dope. Okay, so when compared to mainstream games on Steam, a digital gaming store, these numbers barely even register against titles like Counter-Strike, Dota 2, and PUBG. For Axie Infinity, it's impossible to determine how many of these players are just for fun rather than employees of guilds playing the game to earn yield for investors. Ugh. The team behind Axie Infinity seems to understand this and acknowledge that gameplay needs to improve for the game to grow organically. Meaning, look, on the aggregate, the metaverse is deteriorating by 30% over the last 4 months. Going backwards by 40%. Bro, that's not a small thing. That's not a little bitty, that's not a rounding error. That's the end of your business if you don't get your S together. Come on. Think about it like a business. These are not businesses. Not really. Not yet. But Axie Infinity is probably the best of those, but they're having trouble. Gamers themselves appear to be hostile towards GameFi. Gaming giant Ubisoft's non-fungible token efforts fell flat, and an industry survey published during the Game Developers Conference showed that most studios are not interested in embracing crypto or NFTs. Why would they? Do you think they want decentralization to flourish in a network where you have to pay to play? No. And they have millions and millions, tens, hundreds of millions of players. Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, Battlefield, go to League of Legends, go down the list. Do you think these dudes want to go the other way? F no. And do you think that these little companies in the crypto space are going to meaningfully compete? It's not likely. They don't have the numbers. Yeah, that's right. Masad, you nailed it. You win the day. The numbers are comical. 978 users a day. These tokens, do you realize we got 46 plus Theta plus, we've got about 200 people watching this live. Do you realize we are about a quarter of the total user base of this platform? We are a quarter of the Decentraland numbers right here, right now, this second. Those of us. Look at the people on your left and your right. That is not enough to to in any way justify these prices, these valuations, in my opinion. I'm just saying. Listen, it's one person. I could be all the way wrong, but numbers are numbers, math. It's likely the wider industry sees the monetization of gameplay as an unattractive to would-be participants, explains Masari in a research note. Asking rhetorically if the reader has ever met anyone that finds these games fun. They are not fun. They're clunky and stupid. Play Call of Duty for 30. Hell, go get on Oculus, which is why Facebook is the metaverse play. Get on Oculus. Join me, by the way. I play every day. I play paintball in the rec room. Put on your Oculus. I'm telling you, it's awesome. It's awesome. Would I pay to play? Absolutely. I don't need to get paid to play, bro. I would pay to play because I like it, because it's fun. Yeah, Fortnite alone is 30 million a day. That's right. Like, God, people got to wake up. But gamblers going to gamble. Anyway, first, the ability to purchase NFTs or in-game currency effectively creates pay-to-win game mechanics, a quality that most franchises and successful games avoid, right? Because it's all the wrong incentives. It's not fun anymore, right? Masari's Mason Nystrom wrote in a March report, the most successful games often share an element of skill, opting to create competitive multiplayer gaming experiences and avoid a spam the credit card until you win option. So I think we'll leave it at that. Just come on, man. Just come on. Okay. And we would be remiss if I didn't talk about what happened and what has happened with the FEWO paint drop. Okay. So FEWOcious is an artist. His stuff is really cool. I'm going to show you, if this will let me, I'm going to show you one of his pieces that I have. I had two pieces. Okay. So here's FEWO. Okay. This is one of his pieces. I really like it. It's Victor and Victoria. And this is a pretty good number. I've got 41 of 793, but numbers don't really matter, but it's still a low number. Okay. I like he is non-binary. So his name is Victor. Victor, is a young artist that left from Vegas. I think he's in the Bay Area now. He's really good. I like his art. He reminds me of a kind of a new age Picasso. So I love his art there. It's tricky. I love Victor's artwork. FEWOcious is his name a lot. I have some pieces I will never ever sell because I just like the artwork and it's kind of fun to own it. Like, unless the money is retarded, I will never sell my Beeple because I've grown attached to it. I've had offers of 60, 70K. No, because I like it and it feels kind of cool. So I like FEWOcious. I like their art. There, I got it. I like Victor's art. Victor's creating with the help of some other people, FEWOcious World, FEWO World. And that's going to be, and you can find that through the Twitter and all that kind of stuff. So the currency in FEWO World is paint. So they had a paint sale. This was Sunday. And for those of you that were in our Telegram group, I had said, hey, listen, if you really want to gamble, this is what I'm doing. Let me know if you want to do it. So I did it. People that owned a FEWOcious piece got to purchase paint at a 50% discount, or this will sound crazy, but remember, paint is the currency. It was a one-time mint. What they minted from Sunday to Monday was it. They minted X amount, and then the rest, 2,500, got gifted to the company itself, kind of the FEWO World, so that when he does these when Victor does in-person events, you can go to the events and actually paint stuff, and all the paintings that are created get put in a vault that become this kind of intellectual property of FEWO World. It's really cool. I don't know if it completely flounders or does something amazing, but this to me is what I want. This is the kind of metaverse-y type project I want. It's not even a metaverse. It's just FEWO World is a huge engaged group of people that like this kind of artwork. The artwork is very uplifting and colorful and cool. Anyway, so because I have a FEWO piece, I sold one that I had that was a lot higher number, like an 82 of whatever. I sold it for like 17,000. I know it sounds crazy. I bought it for 6. I sold it for 17. That's the money I used plus a little bit to purchase this. So basically I went from FEWO piece to paint. I still have the piece, the Victor and Victoria. Okay. Now that I have the paint, This is what it looks like. And right now, the way it works is no matter how many paint you bought, if you bought 1, 7, 50, 20, whatever, you get one NFT, and these are all unique. They all have random, this is a one of one, but it basically is a merged piece that equals 50 paint, but it's its own piece. Now we don't know what that gets us. It clearly gets us whitelist to the actual PFP launch, which they'll do later, which I'm guessing is going to be a relatively low count. You can go to right now. Let's see. I'll jump on OpenSea. We'll go and look at what FEWO. Let's search for Ferocious paint. Okay, FEWO paint 7.3. Be careful, there's some fakes. Go to the real one, and we'll see what it is right now. 1.1 thousand, so 1,100 owners. I think there's more. There's 7,300 total pieces. That means total NFTs. But any of those, remember, some of those NFTs have up to like several hundred paint. I was by no means in the top. Paul, what's going on? Crypto Gamer, what up? So the floor is 0.52. So go to buy now. When you look at the buy now, so it's half of any. So if you bought the other day at $500, these are now worth about 1,700. Okay. If you bought on the public market, they were 1,000. So you're still up 70%. So I'm not selling mine unless someone offers me such stupid money that it's crazy, because what the pieces, the merged pieces. So like you'll notice this is one paint, this is one paint, this is one paint, this is one paint. But if you go and you look at the different, they have different quantities of paint. These are all the ones, but there's different styles, paint quantity. You can get an idea. This is over on the left of the screen. You may not be able to see it. You can get an idea of what the distribution of quantity was. There's 5,200 one paints, 700 twos, 339 threes. Then it gets lower, then it gets lower, then it gets lower. You get up to the 30, there's 12 of them. Oddly, on the 9s, there's 10. There's not many. The 50s, there's 8 of us. There's 8 of us that have 50, which is kind of cool. Then it gets less and less and less. And some of these numbers are ridiculous. Okay. Look at 350. 3, bro. That means at the price of 50. So cut that. So somebody spent $175,000 on one NFT, and we don't even know what it does other than that it gets us access to FEWO World. I mean, is this 486? That's $243,000. 515. That's 260,000, almost 260, 257,500 bucks. And that's if they bought on the cheap. 532, 561, 230,500 bucks. So no. Sorry. 280,000. So I don't know where this goes. I don't know what it means. Each of these NFT, these are all one of ones, and they have their own specific rarities, but these qualify you to get into the FEWO world. So am I telling anyone to do this? Man, no way. This is degenerate gambling 101. Only in my case, I just really love the artwork. So I'm happy with my paint drop. This is my paint drop. You'll notice I'm not accepting offers, but there it is. By the way, this is a black and white one. They're all different in the way they animate. And this one is a pure black and white one. And some little things blink. I haven't really torn it apart. There's stuff in the reflections. There's all sorts of stuff going on. There's even FEWO pops up on the bottom right. Boop, FEWO. So these things are all unique and they mean something. None of us know what they mean. And that's probably a lot like crypto. None of us really know what most of this stuff means, but it's kind of interesting. Have a little fun in the space, right? You see days like this where the market's going down and it's kind of depressing and you're like, no, where's my money? Where's all my money gone? Look, LooksRare going down even closer. Get below $1. Get on down there. So the market is testing the bed. We're under 44. Oh, woe is me. No, good as you. if you're reallocating your staked funds, staked tokens, and the rewards you're getting into really cool stuff, and you're having some modicum of fun, you're winning. If you're not, this isn't the space. And I haven't, Crypto Gamer, I haven't seen the Takashi Murakami flowers yet. I do love the Asian art. I'm guessing that's what that is. I have a Karafuru. I know it sounds crazy. And it's one of my other favorite pieces. But if I had to say what are my favorite artists are, it's easy. It's FEWOcious, it's Beeple, and it's Paul Jackson. And everybody else. But those are my three. I also like Jonathan Thunder, but no one knows who he is. I mean, I know, but no one else. But anyway, if I had to say just one, the art that I feel like I like the most is FEWOcious. I like Beeple for his social commentary and for some of the things that he did for the NFT space. And he's just he's a great personality for the space. He's also a decent dude. I like Paul Jackson's stuff because I think it's very, it's edgy and grainy, and it's also a kind of an inner kind of, inside baseball look at art and some of these companies and stuff like that. And Jonathan Thunder is American Indian, just really cool, very, very interesting artwork. Yeah. So yeah, you gotta do some stuff in this space that makes you happy, because it's real easy to be unhappy. There's so many things to be unhappy about. Have a little fun. You don't need to ask permission. Everybody here deserves to have a little bit of fun, and make smart decisions. And remember, math, math, definitions, theorems, proofs, and then protocol, not protocol, and then go back and dodge all the other stuff by saying, don't worry, I'll just buy a bunch of Bitcoin and put it in reserve. Everything will be fine. No. Okay. Stay out of trouble, stay in school, don't do drugs, don't do anything my poor insolvent drunk, strung out on meth grandmother wouldn't do. As you know, that is very little. We will see you on the next one tomorrow and Friday. Check out we'll have the Money Map episodes live on Money Map, moneymorningpress.com, and then, or moneymorninglive.com. There's a link here in the description. And then we will do the replays here right around this time. So we'll see you then. Yeah. Deuces.